Now I've got Dan Bowers with me. Hi Dan, how you doing? Dan's the Vice President of Emergency Vehicle Specialists in Hagerstown, Maryland. They do a lot of work on fire trucks. They fix them, they repair them, they maintain them. While they got them in the shop, they work on the rear markings too. So we're going to ask Dan to give us a few pointers on the types of things that he's done.
Well, Rich, you can see with this unit right here, it does have Scotch-Lite striping on it, but it has no Chevron striping on it. So it dramatically cuts down the visibility out there on the road. Now, this unit over here, this unit's been in service approximately a year. As you can see, this one is laid out kind of aesthetically different than this unit over here. When we go to lay out these units here, you were asking earlier what we go through to how we lay it out aesthetically. Rich, we started at a center line, center of the truck. That has to be established and carry straight on down the door. And we do that so we can start off with our red line. That's our kind of our signature. We always start out with a red point, so we have a complete red chevron stripe ending at the highest point of the full stripe. This door is, after we lay out our striping, this door is taken off the truck. It is laid down, and you have to cut every one of these stripes, because your reds and your yellow, when it's applied to the door, is a full stripe on a roll-up door. So we have to cut through every one of these slats. First we have to make our initial cut, and we do a 45 cut one way, a 45 cut the opposite way. So that gives the door the ability to roll up again after we put our stickers on.
So that's one of your challenges in a roll-up door. You got the roll-up door, it's not just a flat surface, you just put some striping on. There's a lot of
time and effort that is involved in putting Chevron striping on it.
So it's an art form. This is something you kind of learned as you went, or is it in the standard that, or there's a class you go to? It's just, you've come up with your own style.
Well, actually, sometimes it's trial and error, but we always strive to do the best we possibly can. And again, to make it aesthetically pleasing for the fire department. When you're going back and retrofitting a previously existing truck instead of a new truck, you have to go to extra means to make sure that the job is done properly. You know, all the hardware has to come off the back of the truck. We do not cut around anything. So after we get all of our striping started, we finish our striping up. Everything is seam sealed to keep your seams and everything from raising back up. And it adds the durability to the washings that they get, because they like to keep their apparatus clean.
Now we know that firefighters are really picky, so your attention to detail is going to make it more agreeable to the fire department, and they're going to be more willing to have these put on if it's done right and if it looks good. And clearly the job that you're doing looks good. Now what happens though, it's not just the back of the trucks that's facing traffic. Do you have anything special you do to the trucks to deal with some of the other challenges?
We did come up with something very special to kind of set us apart. We'll take this line here, for instance. As this line comes down across extrusion, if you just can use an imaginary line right here. What we do, we take and shoot a laser up the side of the truck, and you're probably wondering why we would shoot a laser up the side of the truck. And I'll show you, for one, the first thing that comes open into the line of traffic is a door. And I'll show you the door comes open. If you were coming down the street, firefighters exiting the vehicle, this is what you're going to see first before you see the firefighter come out of the truck. And the lines at the back of the truck perfectly align with the lines on the door.
So we know that no matter what we do, any little added feature that you put on here is going to enhance the safety of the firefighters.
It's all about safety of the firefighters.
So even sometimes you've carried this a step further than even what the standard calls for.
Right. This protects you from the rear. But before you can get on the scene to help anyone, you have to exit the truck, and that gives you the added safety of exiting the truck.
Okay, well what about this vehicle? What's different about this one?
This vehicle is a little bit different. Again, everything's taken off the back of the truck, all the grab rails, hose reel rollers. And again, it has another roll-up door, and our process is the same as that, the squad over there. This has another little added feature. when you open up this door, there again, your truck actually visually looks wider than what it presently was when it came to the park position. And also, as the firefighters are walking up along the side of the truck, it gives them an added safety area with the Chevron striping on the side there. So it's just an added feature that we like to do. There again, if the fire department wants us to do that, we're happy to do that. But it's just another one of those little added features.
Well, it's a good attention to detail on your part and something that's important to the firefighters. Something else that's important is identification of the vehicles. What do you do about the naming of the truck or the name of the community? Can you put them right over the top of the striping?
Yes. This unit here came to us. Of course, most all units are identified from the rear. This came with the 26 engine. Once the Chevron striping was applied, the truck number and identification can be laid right over top of the Chevron striping. And Rich, I would like to point out this is only 4-inch striping compared to the 6-inch striping on the Squad.
But even though it's 4-inch, you're still using the same principles, and this is a department that went slightly ahead of their time and put it on before the standard was complete.
Right, that's why this is 4-inch right now. But it's still all about the safety.
Okay. Well, how about an ambulance? Let's take a look at an ambulance and see what the differences are. Technically, ambulances aren't covered by 1901. Any differences, or how do you protect the firefighters that are on this, even though the standard isn't really applying to ambulances? We still have the same problem of identifying a vehicle in the roadway.
Well, Rich, it's still all about safety out on the highways. Ambulances are a little bit different than the fire apparatus out there, but it's all about safety. This particular ambulance, of course, we start with taking everything off the back of the ambulance to give us a clean slate, per se. We have achieved a great deal of striping on the back of this ambulance. The fire company went into something a little bit different, since they did achieve the striping and the safety effect that they were after, and it's just a little bit different. It's again aesthetically pleasing. We go to extra measures with these doors here. This is a high traffic area, and we put poly stainless steel down each side of the door to protect the door and also the striping.
Now, and an ambulance has much more exposed space, so getting to your 50% is a little bit easier. It gives you more options.
Absolutely, absolutely. You can do a lot with the back of an ambulance as far as firefighter safety, personnel safety. It just gives it a very good visual effect. We've had comments from customers, and they say they can see these trucks a mile away before they even know what's there.
Well, you can certainly see the dramatic change between an unmarked vehicle and one that's done properly to meet the standard.
That's what it's all about, visibility.
We've been able to show you some examples of how you can improve the rear markings on your fire apparatus. You can clearly see what a dramatic difference it makes, how it lights up the scene, and how it's going to provide added safety to the firefighters working on the highways. This little bit of safety is going to make sure that all of our firefighters have the best opportunity to return home at the end of the shift. I thank you very much for your attention and wish you the best, and please remain safe in your operations.